Football on YouTube. Can I get a roll tide inside the comment box? I appreciate y'all being here. Thank you so much. Let me know where you're watching from. As always, today is Thursday. It is September 18th. Thank you so much for kicking with me this week on the open week. But there's been plenty of news to discuss because we have the college football game, right? The early game of the year, let's face it, next Saturday at Sanford Stadium. All right, so what's your excitement level on a scale of 1 to 10 as we get everybody checked in? Let me know your excitement level. Yo, I'm super excited about this one. As you know, I've been discussing it really all week, and I think it really, when you look at this game kind of from the outside, you had Texas and Ohio State to kick off the year, right? And now you have Georgia and Alabama, an early season SEC kickoff to the best conference in college football. Alabama surging at the right time, has a perfect opportunity to go to Georgia and to showcase to the nation how they have improved week by week, how they can play on the road week by week, right? It looks like it's going to be a blackout, which is pretty dope. I'm excited about that. I know that Barstool was calling for that. When you look to last year, yo, that was the craziest game, right? Last year. There was so many elements in that game that we saw last year, and I would imagine that that next Saturday is going to be just as exciting, right? So, yeah, I mean, when you look back to that game, it was crazy. That was one of the craziest games I've seen, period, all right? So I kind of go back to that LSU game when LSU came over here to Bama. And then this game, those are two of my favorite games. And, of course, the national title, where I have Tua right here, right? Those are like some of my top games. Look at this stadium. Yo, this stadium is going to be crazy. 93,000 at Sanford Stadium. And I think it was Alabama, honestly, that went with the lights first. Because all these college football teams, they changed the lights, right? So now look at this. This is crazy. Yo, this stadium is going to be absolutely lit. So you have the red lights with the blackout for this game. Let me ask you this. And I know, look, the week one game, it was what it was. But don't you feel like this will be the most challenging environment or a more challenging environment than Florida State? I mean, look, we're about to find out how good Georgia is, how good Alabama is. But in terms of like the overall atmosphere, like look at this. This is going to be crazy. Someone pointed out last year, they're like, well, Alabama did fine last year against LSU. I thought that was a fine point for sure, 100%. But like this stadium next Saturday, yo, this is going to be absolutely epic. So here to discuss the game, talk about key storylines going into it as we always do. And like Jarvis says inside the comment box, yeah, that is going to be absolutely the toughest game that they have so far. Hey, the goal today, we got 10 super chats. Where my super chatters at? Let's get 10 super chats. That is the goal for today's show. Can we do it? Can we kick it? Yes, you can. Can you kick it? Yes, you can. All right. Look, let's go over the headlines, right? These are the biggest headlines that I think right now at this point in time, Thursday, September 18th, that we got regarding this game. And I think, like I said, you saw this, right? It's going to be a blackout for 6:30 next Saturday. Biggest environment in all of college football, 100%. Can't wait to see it. It'll be dope if they can, make it an all blackout. I'm in all black. The crazy thing is, and I'm going to talk about it at the back end of the show, Coach Kalen DeBoer, will he be wearing the black hoodie to the blackout? I don't know. Everyone's going to be in black. Whose funeral is it going to be? All right. Alabama has won the last 9 out of 10 of these games, which is crazy to me. I mean, you look at these two particular teams and you're like, man, yeah. If you're like a casual fan, you're probably like, I don't know. It's probably like even. No, Alabama has controlled this series over the last 10 matchups, right? In the 10 games, I think goes back to like 2008 or something like that. Tim Keenan III and Jam Miller will be back in action. And we've talked about that. How impactful that will be for those two gentlemen to be back in the lineup for Alabama on offense and on defense. I've highlighted the play of Tim Keenan being like, he is a captain, he's coming back, he's a big defensive plug that has to be that alpha that maybe the defense is looking for. And maybe he can help stop the run not only against Georgia, but going forward. And how good is he going to be? Is he going to be on a pitch count? Can he play at the high level and sustain it, right, in a game like this? I think on the other side, Jam Miller. How are they going to utilize Jam Miller in a game like this? Is he 100% following his fall camp shoulder injury? Can he go the whole time? And it's going to be pivotal to have those type of veterans in a game like this on the road, right? Georgia, this is crazy. This was brought up yesterday. 32-game home winning streak. Isn't that crazy? So Alabama has an opportunity to go to Athens and to be the first team in 32 tries, right? It will be 33, I guess, to defeat Georgia. Isn't that one hell of a stat line? 32-game winning streak at home? Man, that's crazy. Credit to Georgia. Shoot. That's a lot of games in a row to be winning at home. That should read Coach Kalen DeBoer is 2-5 on the road. And as you know, Georgia is a 4-point favorite in this game. The total's still 52. Is that right? Is that right, Jarvis? So we got 4 point. Is the total still 52 for this game? All right. Kirby Smart yesterday said when he was discussing the SEC teleconference, he said this on Ty Simpson. He says he's extremely accurate and he's extremely athletic. I mean, you look at the last two games, how Ty Simpson has operated at such a high level. It's just been that, right? I think and I still feel, and I don't know if I'm watching a different game than a lot of analysts or whatever. I don't know who's saying what. But it seems to me like the athleticism of Ty Simpson isn't coming into play yet. It's kind of making me a little bit upset that people are saying that he's a game manager, right? Because I think that he's clearly shown that he's a playmaker, right? Like he's a playmaker, a point guard that can operate the offense at a very high level. So for those people out there that are like, he's a game manager, I think you got it twisted. I think he's a playmaker that's an athlete. And I kind of look back to that second game, even the first game, when he was running for his life against Florida State, you saw the athleticism that he had, right? He was able to duck and evade and kind of extend plays the best that he could. In the second game, he had some long runs, but he's done that in the past. We know this about Ty Simpson, that he's a dual threat quarterback. He is an athlete. He is not a game manager. So I think that when you come in here and you look to Alabama's quarterback room, Kirby Smart's exactly right. He's very accurate, and he's done just that with, the statistics that he's put up, specifically in the last two games where he's like, 41 to 46 in the last two, which is a crazy number. And he is extremely athletic, 100%. And I think you have to worry about that. I mean, last year you had to worry about, that quarterback because of what he could do. But don't sleep on Ty's running ability. If he needs to evade and he needs to get, 8 yards, 10 yards, go for a long run, he can do just that. So extremely accurate. That's what Kirby Smart had to say regarding Alabama quarterback Ty Simpson. Coach Kalen DeBoer said, regarding Ty Simpson, it seems like the game has slowed down to him and confidence is building. Yeah, you need those tune-up games early on in the season to be able to kind of build that confidence, right? And that the team is trusting him most importantly. Yeah, I mean, he's a captain, right? This guy has been here for quite some time, so the team does trust him. And as you see the on-field play, that's only going to allow more players to have more confidence in somebody like Ty Simpson. I was thinking about this. Stay with me on this. Most of the times in college football, all right? Most of the time in college football is like, once you get past the starter, the backup quarterback is a little bit dicey, right? And you saw that last week with Wisconsin. We saw that last year with Missouri. It's like the backup quarterbacks are always like mid, if that, right? You saw Lenore Sellers. He goes down, South Carolina, and they struggle, right? The backups are always mid. But I was thinking about this. I was like, if anything could sustain Alabama throughout the duration of the season, and one thing that they really have in their pocket is they have really good quarterbacks on that depth chart. Any of those guys, I feel, if they were to have opportunities, I think they'd be ready to go, right? Alabama's quarterback room, probably one of the better in the SEC, if not the best. You got what I'm saying? Hey, Jeff, I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much. And if I can't get to you, like, immediately inside the comment box, it's probably because I'm talking on the show. So hold it against my head, not against my heart. But I appreciate all the support, man. Thank you so much, Jeff, for always kicking it with me, for sure. But building confidence. And let me ask you this. Is Ty building confidence with you as a fan? As you watch Ty Simpson, do you have more confidence in him? I know I do. I know I have confidence in him. The only thing that I need to see now going into this next game is like, okay, what type of confidence and what type of playmaking ability are going to be able to have against a very difficult opponent like Georgia on the road in this type of environment, right? We haven't seen Ty in an environment like this. I think this is a completely different environment than Florida State. I think Florida State had a better game plan. I think they were a better team. I think they practiced all summer. That was their like one shining moment, and they came out and executed. This game, the environment and the magnitude and the stakes of this game is much higher than week one. It's the SEC, yo. And if you lose that game, we've already talked about what's at stake. You lose that game, yo, you got to win the rest of your games. You got to run the rest of the table to be able to hope to make the SEC championship and most importantly, be able to make the playoffs. This cannot be another year with no playoffs, right? I mean, we're not going to go 2 consecutive years with not making the playoffs. That is not the standard here. So everybody understands that 100%. All right, we got the goal up today, which is 10 super chats. We got one in so far. It was from MM. It says 199. Is that who is that? I like the avatar. It looks like a Falcons fan. I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much. And Ryan Harris points out, he's like, can't start 2-2, 100%, right? All right. You look at Ty Simpson through the first 3 games of the season. It's pretty ridiculous, right? Like here are the stats right here on the screen. 64 of 89 passing, 71% through 3 games. Amazing. 862 yards. I don't care who you're playing. 9 touchdowns. We all know it should be 10. Longest pass was the flea flicker, 75 yards. Sacks taken, which was 4, right? I think most of those came in that first game of the season. The passer rating is 186. Man, you know, the coffee is tasting, I'm not going to lie, the coffee's tasting really good. You guys, it's crazy because you don't know. Who knows about like real green chili? Does anybody know this? So I've had some frozen green chili and I just defrosted some last night and I had some this morning for breakfast. And it's just like, it's extraordinary. So like New Mexico green chili from Hatch specifically is like hits on a whole different level. So I'm kind of riding that high of like my breakfast, which wasn't complicated, but just that green chili and then you get like the hot coffee. Damn, it's like this crazy combo. The last 2 games have been absolutely crazy, right? For Ty Simpson. Thank you so much, Jarvis, for the super chat. This is crazy. 41 of 46, 608 yards, 7 touchdowns, 89%, right? The last 2, I get it. I understand who they played. It doesn't matter. This is still hard to do regardless of who you're playing. So the last 2 games have been fire, and I can only imagine like Kirby Smart watching Alabama's offense operate, and he's like, look, this guy is improving week by week. He's very accurate. He doesn't turn the football over, right? We got to get pressure to them, 1,000,000%. And I think that's where in this particular game, you got the offensive tackles, and these guys have to really show up, show out in a game like this. I don't know if you still have a weak spot. We're about to find out. And I would imagine if Formby struggles in this game, I think they're quick to put Michael Carroll in, and maybe that will be the determining factor of who's the tackle going forward. And this is a game also where Jam Miller comes in and he's able to provide a little bit better pass protection for his quarterback, right? But let's face it. I mean, if you look at the offense, you're like, what's the weak link, Kyle? What's the weak link? You know, Ryan Harris or Chad inside the comment box or whoever. It's like the tackles, right? Debbie knows what's up with that Hatch green chili. We got some super chats in. Let's see what Jarvis has to say. Jarvis in with the super chat. Jarvis says, did you see where NCAA shrunk it down to just one transfer portal window where players can transfer? Yeah. I mean, you're right. Portal combat. Yeah, that's what needed to happen was just one transfer window. I can't even imagine being a coach and having to re-recruit, your players not once but twice, and also everything that happens within recruiting. So, yeah, I mean, that was the right thing to do 100%. Saw that happen yesterday. Crystal Jones got her hat. Appreciate it. Yeah, thanks for the update on that. Yeah, I like that hat. You got the block hat. So we've changed the raffles around. So I'll keep you guys posted on the specifics on that. I think we'll be able to do like gift cards specifically to like Team Fanatics or to Athletes Thread, but it won't be like specific merchandising from you know, like Alabama, and that's fine. You know, we'll continue to navigate you know, as we go forward. Jarvis said with another super chat, he says this: laugh out loud. Remember when Kirby used to call Bryce Young the gingerbread man? Yeah, that's what you know, it was crazy because nobody could tackle Bryce Young. And by the way, like if you play fantasy football, yo, Bryce Young threw the football 55 times last game. And you know who caught like 10 of those passes was Hunter Renfrow. So if you need a wide receiver, all right, you might have to dip down and get Hunter Renfrow. But Ty Simpson, absolutely on fire. Okay, we have a special announcement. We're going to have to cut the music. All right, this is big. Okay, so a special announcement from Army 3275. Can I please get, you know, some congratulations and some, you know, prayers up for Army 3275, who is officially cancer-free. What a celebration. Yo, September 18th. This is gigantic. This is bigger than the show, right? So, yo, congratulations. Army 3275 has been going through it. And sometimes in life, you just go through it, right? Like, that's just how life is. If you're a grown-ass adult on here, or if you're young, you're a teenager, whatever, like, know that in life, you're going to go through it. And what going through it means is, like, adversity. You're going to get hit with different levels of adversity. You have to keep powering through. You have to keep kind of plugging along, surround yourself with positive people, keep praying to God, and those things you will pass. But you're going to go through it. I promise you. I mean, raise your hand if you've gone through it inside the comment box in some way, shape, or form. And guess what? You can rely on your family, and that's it, right? Because nobody else cares. So just keep powering through, and congratulations, man. We're so proud of you, and you know, for continuing to battle and that mindset and that mentality that you've had on the show. So we appreciate you, but most importantly, bro, you know, we are happy for the update. So thank you very much for sharing with us that magnificent update, 100%. All right, we continue with my top 5 players right now for Alabama, all right? Here it is. So inside the comment box, will you please list your top 5 players? Top 5 players. Here are mine. And I have them the way that I have them right here. I have them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's the all right. So let's see if I can move this. How about that? How about that? Okay, that looks good. All right, so my top 5 players right now. This is them. I came up with this morning. I went through like the roster cards, and I was like, number 1, Jeremy Bernard, 100%. Like, he's definitely the number 1 player. The way that he's played this year is absolutely stellar, right? 15 catches, 275, 3 touchdowns. He is the guy, right? So, and you know what I like about him? He's super dependable, right? Quality catches. He's not like, and he has some playmaking ability for sure. And I like the way so far that Ryan Grubb has been able to get the football to him. He used him as a jet sweep. They're able to get him the football all over the field. 15 catches, 275, and 3 tutties. All right. Ty Simpson, come on. Right? The last 2 games, 862, 9 touchdowns on the year, 71% completion. No interceptions. Parker Brailsford, all right? Look, this is a center. On the left, his Pro Football Focus grade against I think this is pass protection, is 79.9. And then against the run, for run blocking, is 59.9. And the run blocking grades for all the Alabama linemen are pretty low. We went over that yesterday, right? But Parker Brailsford, clearly him. So you got 2 transfers up here. You got Kevin Riley. Yo, Kevin Riley, holy cow. This guy surged so far this year. If I had to give, honestly, if I had to give it would be tough if I had to give like a after week 3 game ball, it would be very challenging not to give it to Kevin Riley. His numbers aren't huge, but the way that he's played has been huge for a team that has needed a running back to really step up, right? I know there's some debate inside the comment box if Alabama can run the football or not. Clearly, they don't have overwhelming marks at this point in time. That's something that we're watching. We're like, can this team run the football? Does Ryan Grubb, have a playbook that can feature a running back? Is it what the defense is giving them? Right? Are they just taking advantage of it? And Riley definitely is undersized, but he's playing big. I mean, I kind of looked at the play where against Wisconsin, Alabama's in the shadow of their own end zone, and he stiff-armed like 5-6 guys to get like 8 yards, right? So he plays much bigger than his size. I don't even know if he's 200 pounds. Bray Hubbard on the right. This is a guy who clearly was inspired because of his poor performance in week 1. He took accountability for it. He came back with it. And you see how he's able to be the SEC Player of the Week on the defensive side of the ball after Wisconsin. He was also Player of the Week against Louisiana Monroe. He has 2 interceptions, and his coverage grade so far through 3 games is 85.9 in 124 snaps. So this is my top 5 players right now. Probably kind of a hard, list to disagree with. Is there anybody else that would make like number 6? I was thinking about a name. I'm going to add it. Who would be like an honorable mention name? You know who I'm going to add? I think I'd add, I would probably add, and this to my surprise, because this is a position that I was critical of going into the season, I think I would add the punter, Blake Dowd. Ooh, Lazier Brooks is a good one. LT Overton, yeah, his number's pretty good. I was going to add Blake Dowd or Connor Talty, the punter and the kicker. I thought they'd done pretty well so far. So I would probably list Blake Dowd in terms of the punter. He's averaging like 48 yards per punt. And the kicker, Connor Talty, maybe I'll reserve that to see how he plays against Georgia, right? He missed the first one of the season. It was like for 53 yards or whatever. And since that, he's come back and he's done pretty well. 13 of 13 on PATs and 3 of 4 on the season in field goals. You guys doing all right? You guys hanging in there? How many cups of coffee you guys in so far? Do you do coffee? Do you do tea? Sometimes I do tea. It's just not the same, right? I love coffee. I know. I love it. Hey, man, what's up, man? I appreciate you being here, Ryan. Paris, Wade's World, Jackson, Ronnie, From. I even see AJ back in here. I hadn't seen AJ in a minute. Nelson. What's up, bro? Oh, Nelson points out Bray has 3 interceptions. Did you get one against Louisiana Monroe? I appreciate you bringing that. Yeah, thank you. We got another super chat. And from my boy, Ruben. Yo, Ruben's also going through it. How's your rehab, Ruben? Coming along? You wearing that Alabama shirt in your rehab? Ruben has his 5 players. He highlights Keenan, Overton. Oh, no, these aren't his top 5. He's just saying defense against Georgia, right? Tim Keenan, LT Overton, James Smith, right? We're going to talk about the defense in just a minute. Yeah. Hey, Steven, good morning to you. I appreciate it, man. Andy from the 710 says coffee bean direct. Man, you can get really dialed in with your coffee, right? All right, here we go. We've pointed out like the play of this man, and this is why he's number 1 on my list. 275, 15 receptions, 3 touchdowns, 18.3 yards per catch. Very, very impressive. Off to an incredible start, right? I was thinking about this, and I'll go full screen. I appreciate you being a fan funder, Kimberly. Thank you so much for always supporting the product. This was a 5-wide set. Did anybody see this against Wisconsin? Okay. Now, you can't see the 2 wide receivers on the outside, so I'll break it down for you. So what Alabama did in this particular play right here is they went Ryan Williams on the inside, right? They went Lazier Brooks, which I thought was a very dangerous combination right here in the inside. They have Journey Bernard right here Also, the secondary wide receiver on the outside to this far right, which you can't see, is Josh Cuevas, who basically ran like a 5-yard stop. And then on the left side, way out here, which you can't see, let me see if I can get it. Over here, you had Kevin Riley. So you didn't necessarily have 5 wide receivers. You had 2 tight ends and 3 wide receivers. They've done this in the past, but I thought this was a very interesting look when they do go 5 wide, right? And in this particular play, it was Lazier Brooks right here who caught a pass. But you could do a lot of things if Alabama is to go with this particular set, right? And I think that was one of the plays that Ty Simpson did miss on. When Lazier Brooks, I think it was earlier in the drive, he went up here and kind of did like a post corner, and Ty Simpson didn't get the ball to him. Anyways, they hardly ever, which is interesting, they don't go 5 legitimate wide receivers. They like to keep a tight end and they like to keep a running back. But if they did go 5 wide, could you imagine what they could put out there, right? Just something interesting. And when I was thinking about Alabama's wide receivers, who, by the way, I think will be, clearly one of the differences in this game against Georgia next Saturday, you got to look at, the main 3. Bernard, clearly the standard, but Ryan Williams. And I get it. Look, the drops have been a thing. And as you can see at the bottom, Coach Kalen DeBoer was like elite hands, but focus is needed because Lazier Brooks even dropped a pass as well. But Ryan Williams is like a human joystick, right? The playmaking ability that he has is, at the highest, 100 out of 100. There's nobody else out there in the country that has that type of playmaking ability. The instinctual plays that he's been able to make in, the short time that we've seen Ryan Williams, they're all memorable, right? Think about, I could just point out a couple plays that were like, damn, like I can't believe he did that. The Georgia game, clearly, right? But even before that, when he caught his first touchdown pass, how he made those 2 people run into each other. Then the Georgia one, same thing. The Wisconsin one, where the guys go out of bounds. The catch against Vanderbilt, where he like kind of floated up in the air. So the playmaking ability is there, right? Yeah, has he dropped passes? For sure. But that's kind of been part of it. But for every drop that he's had, he has like 3 plays that are just built into your brain. All right, Miss Aaron with the super chat as well. Hey, Kyle, I wore the shirt. I won the raffle. FSU, never again. All right, you could use it as a rag or something. Superstitious. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, that's why I'm wondering if Coach Kalen DeBoer is going to wear that hoodie, right? And then, thumbs up for Lazier Brooks. I don't know how they're going to continue to keep this guy off the field, like how they're going to utilize 17 right here. But he reminds me of Jalen Waddle. He's got a lot of that similar shake and bake. He's very fast. He's sticky. I think that, he did drop a pass last game, but I think the overall playmaking ability of 17 is very special. So get him on the field more, and I think he could be one of the difference makers in this game next Saturday, right? You agree? And like I said, Coach Kalen DeBoer did address the drops. He said elite hands, focus needed. That was on his SEC teleconference. All right, if you guys haven't played Sleeper before, all right, if you don't have Sleeper, you got to download the app. It's really fun. This is clearly this video is sponsored by Sleeper. Trying to find my Sharpie. 2820. But when you download Sleeper, you can make more or less picks. We've been making picks all year. It's fun to do. Download the app. It's available in 25 states. Terms and conditions apply. And if you download the app and you use the promo code, which is tailgate, you get a 100% match up to $100. So if you like to play more or less, it kind of elevates the game experience. I do it, and I use it for fantasy football as well. Here's what's on the board this week. We've talked about this. You have John Mateer right here, more or less for 256. We've taken more inside the comment box. We played this a couple times this week. Carson Beck going against Florida. We've taken more as well with 255. And then you got Justice Haynes, former Alabama running back. I think more for him as well. So play it. It's fun. I almost had a nice little parlay going last week for Alabama and Wisconsin before Ryan Williams went crazy. But download Sleeper. Play more or less fantasy football. Terms and conditions apply. Get a 100% match when you put up to $100. Use the promo code tailgate. Really fun to do. I think when you look to the defensive side of the ball, and these are updated. Remember, yesterday I didn't have the updated stats on the defense, so I went through and I updated this. LT Overton in 3 games, 86 snaps. He's got a run defensive grade of 71 and a pass rushing grade of 68, which, by the way, is the highest on the team. I know it's not spectacular, but it is something, right? Keon Keeley, he has only 31 snaps. Let me ask you inside the comment box, would you like to see more or less of Keon Keeley? More or less inside the comment box of Keon Keeley, number 31, who has 31 snaps. I'm not going to lie. He's looked pretty good to me. I haven't, I'll be honest with you. If he wasn't, cutting it, if I didn't see something from him, I'd tell you. But he seemed pretty good to me. I think when he's ready, and I get it, you can't just take off LT Overton. But when Keon Keeley comes in, it seems like doesn't it seem like he's super athletic? It's just only 31 snaps. Jordan Renaud, who plays over him, has 52 snaps. He has a run defensive grade of 64.3 and a pass rushing grade of 57. And then we have yet to see Fatoa Henry. Right? Dylan points out that Overton and Keeley had the most pressures on the team. I appreciate that. Jackson from inside the comment box says, I know I admire and appreciate his leadership, but Lawson does not look like the same player as he's been. We've been talking about that for a while now. And the crazy thing is he's still leading the team in tackles. And on it, I think we went through it yesterday. He has the highest grade against the run. So, I mean, the grades are there, but when we're looking with our own eyes, it seems like he's not healthy yet. I know it's wild, but look, the coaches would take him out if he wasn't doing his job. It's just when I look at Deontay Lawson, it seems like he's maybe 70%, maybe. Here's a look at your defensive tackles, and this will be interesting because you have Tim Keenan, who will be back. He hasn't played a game yet, right? James Smith, he's been kind of, the first team guy. But interestingly enough, the second team defensive tackle that's gotten a lot of play is this guy right here, London Simmons. I don't think we've had a chance to talk about London Simmons. He's a freshman. I think he was only, am I right, fam? Look this up for me. Was he a 3-star? I think he was a 3-star. Anyways, he's basically been starting. Him and James Smith started this last game at defensive tackle. Has anybody had a chance to watch London Simmons? I think he's number 90. He's actually been pretty good. Look at his grade against the run, 78.1. I've been pretty impressed with him. So I put this together. We'll go full screen, right? He was a 3-star, yeah. So here's what Alabama's defense looked at one time early in the game against Wisconsin. All right, I'll walk you through it. So up here, you had James Smith, okay? You had London Simmons. You had 3 down linemen in this particular play. London Simmons was right here, your DT. And then you had LT Overton right here. You had, who was blitzing on this play was Yanzi Pierre, right? And then you had Nakai Hill-Green and you had Justin Jefferson. Remember that play when James Smith crawled off to the sideline? This was that play. So, and I don't know where Deontay Lawson is. They rotate those inside linebackers. Deshaun Jones was your Husky, right? And then you had Xavier Brown up top. He's out of the frame. And then over here you got Damani Jackson, Bray Hubbard, and Keon Sapp. So, if they go this look again, clearly Simmons will be Tim Keenan. And then think about that. That's a big difference between a freshman and a senior. It automatically makes even your ears perk up, right? And then I guess if you take out Hill-Green and you put in Deontay Lawson, those are some veterans. On this particular play, Yanzi Pierre came with a crash up the middle, but this running back, who's not the most athletic running back, was able to kind of skate out here, and he probably got 6 or 7 yards. And I would like to see, someone said more Drake Kirkpatrick. I'd like to see him play too a little bit more. I don't know, Jackson. I think he might have got in a little bit, but he's been behind Deshaun. Deshaun does have a good grade in coverage. I think Dre's a harder hitter, but I think they'll use more Kirkpatrick going forward, but I think he's the 2 at that Husky position right now. What are your thoughts on Gunnar Stockton? Sound off inside the comment box. On a scale of 1 to 10, what are your thoughts about Gunnar Stockton? How good is he on a scale of 1 to 10? Gunnar Stockton. Coach Kalen DeBoer's said yesterday on the SEC Teleconference that he adds a dimension with his mobility and playmaking. Raise your hand inside the comment box if you watched Tennessee and Georgia. I did. I wanted to like sit there and just watch Georgia. It was a hell of a good game. I thought Tennessee was going to just run away with it. Okay, so we got 6, 7, 7, 6. Yeah, about a 7. People, no, I probably put him at like a 7, I guess, too. He's not, he's better than average, I think. He's not great. He's not elite. But one thing about him, like Coach Kalen DeBoer pointed out, is that he does have more mobility than I thought. And look at this. When you go to the stats, right, in 3 games so far this season, pretty good numbers. 63 of 89. His numbers are kind of close to Ty Simpson's, honestly, without the touchdowns. 63 of 89, 721 yards, 4 touchdowns. But look at this bottom stat. The two bottom stats, I think, tell you a lot. So he's been efficient, 70%. And then he has 29 rushes for 124 yards and 3 touchdowns. So guy can move, right? And then I was thinking, I was like, okay, well, let's take it one step further. I was like, let's go side by side. Because remember, I've had this graphic, you know, with every single quarterback so far. Yeah, he is better. No, his numbers are better than Arch Manning, right? So I put it together and I was like, I went side by side and I was like, how does this look? I mean, Ty Simpson still has the edge. The only thing that I don't have in here is the rushing stats, where Gunnar Stockton has more than Ty, but we all know that Ty is more athletic than Gunnar, right? So anyways, he's been efficient through 3 games. They've only played one quality team. I guess you could say the same against Alabama, right? I mean, Georgia's best win is Tennessee, and Alabama lost to Florida State. Auto Guru says that Hypo got out coach. Well, maybe so. The thing is, Kirby doesn't stop fighting until the game's over, and Tennessee had that opportunity to win with the walk-off field goal at Rocky Top, and they missed it, right? That was a short field goal, too. Anyways, that was an interesting game. Coach Kalen DeBoer said yesterday as well, you got to fight, right? Competing until the end, high-level effort, 100%. And that's something that we saw from Georgia last year. I mean, how many of you thought at halftime last year that the game was over between Alabama and Georgia? To be honest, I did. That's the one thing you're going to get out of Kirby. These guys are going to fight to the end, and that has to be the same mentality for Alabama, right? No matter what happens in that first half, halftime is not the deciding factor of that game. You make adjustments, you come out, you have 2 more quarters to play. It's not over at halftime. It's never been over at halftime. Got to fight. And can this team fight? And that's going to be the challenge to this team, is because Georgia is going to be the best team that they have played since week 1. I guess we still don't know. Shoot, maybe Florida State is just, is that good. They certainly look like it. But this next Saturday will be a quality opponent on each side of the football. Every single facet will be high caliber, right? Good coaching, good quarterback, good running back, good offensive line, defensive line, special teams, the whole thing. This is the real deal. This isn't Wisconsin. This isn't Louisiana Monroe. This is a team that can certainly compete this year for as far as they want to go. Got to fight. It does seem to me like Coach Kalen DeBoer has gotten a little bit more intense. Does it? Am I tripping? It seems like he's getting a little bit more intense. They showed the sideline and he was ripping somebody when they were up, like what, 28-0? Does it seem like he's getting a little bit meaner? Like just a little bit? If 1 out of 10, like how mean is Coach Kalen DeBoer? It seems like he's a 1, maybe a 0. But I think it seems like he might be like a 1 now or a 2. Maybe. Right? Coach Saban was a 10. 11. 11 mean. This is crazy. He's 10-1 in this black hoodie. and then 1-4 with the collared shirt. Do you think that he wears, yes or no, inside the comment box, do you think that he wears this black hoodie next Saturday? Do you think he wears the black hoodie? I don't think he will, because it's like a blackout. Maybe that's why George is trying to say. I would say do it. I would say do it. I don't know. Do we have stats on his red hoodie? I would say wear the black hoodie. No doubt. Have you ever seen like the behind the scenes, how they pack like the coach's clothes and all that stuff? The equipment managers behind the scenes, it would be an amazing series, like to have like behind the scenes, all the managers and stuff like that who get all the gear ready. The players just basically have to put on their hoodie and their sweatpants and their headphones, and all of that gear is all put together behind like these student staffers. That would be one hell of a show. Each player gets like 5 gloves, 5 socks, new cleats, all that stuff. I always remember they used to pack Saban's stuff so like perfectly. They had like his khakis and his polo. Yeah, they're saying blackout though, Alyssa, this game on Saturday. All right. How do we feel about Joel Klatt? I know we love Josh Pate. Do we like Joel Klatt? He's kind of like another, he's one of the top college football analysts, right? He's up there. Like if we, this is exactly who Joel Klatt is, okay? If college football was to have like a presidential runoff for like the commissioner, it would be between like Josh Pate and the opposing candidate would be Joel Klatt. That's who it would be. Those two would be running for like college football commissioner. But he doesn't have as high as an approval rating as Pate. Right? But he has like big college football takes. And he said that, you know, Alabama, they look a lot better. Are Alabama struggles behind them? And I think that's a fair point to ask, not only to like the nation, but to us as fans that are so, you know, under the microscope of Alabama football, because are the struggles behind them? And I don't know if you can confidently say yes until they've played a few games in the SEC, because I kind of point to last year we had similar sentiments about this team. It was too up and down, right? You would win a big game against Missouri, and then you'd have a letdown, right? And you kind of went up and down throughout the season. And we liked Kane Womack, and then we hated him. We liked him, and then we hated him. And then it was always like these scapegoats that we were pointing to. So I don't know. Do you think that the struggles are behind them? I mean, it's worth thinking about. And then you look to this particular venue that they're going to play at. You look kind of at what's stake, but like this is just a hard schedule, period. By the way, the confidence factor, if you're just watching the show, this was put together by ChatGPT. We did this at the beginning of the year following Alabama's loss to Florida State. So ChatGPT spit this out. It has 45% confidence against Georgia. I guess, you know, really toss up. That's the only loss that it has. And then Alabama running the rest. But, you know, you look to people getting injured like that South Carolina game. I mean, they don't look so tough anymore. Although they're without their quarterback now, right? Or I mean, he might be playing this weekend, I guess, concussion protocol. LSU, Oklahoma, we have those teams among the top of the SEC. Georgia's up there, but I mean that's 7 ranked teams right here. 7. So are the struggles behind Alabama? I don't know. I don't know if we can confidently say yes or no up until they've played more games, because they haven't played anybody the last 2 weeks. They've just been tune-up games. Have they improved? Yes, 100%. But are there struggles behind them? No, and the title in terms of like the call-in, it was a it was an error. So I'll do some more calls tomorrow. But in terms of like the titling, I have to go back and fix it. So yesterday I had my call-in show, and I'll do my call-in show tomorrow on Friday. Just a heads up in case you were like trying to call in. Here's a look at the college football schedule within the SEC. What game are you watching? Go ahead and post it inside the comment box. Arkansas taking on Memphis. You have UAB taking on Tennessee. You got Auburn in Oklahoma, which I think is probably the game of the week within the SEC. You have Tulane, who's undefeated, taking on Ole Miss. It's kind of interesting. Northern Illinois taking on Mississippi State, who's, by the way, 3-0. South Carolina, I guess with the questionable quarterback, and Lenore Sellers taking on 3-0 Missouri, who is now ranked 23. Alabama will see them here in a couple weeks. You have Florida, right? And Billy Napier, I guess he's on the hot seat. Seems like he's always on the hot seat. My goodness, at Miami. Miami's playing red hot for sure. You know, regardless of what Bama hater says, I think we all have to agree that Miami's been playing some pretty good football. That game will be really interesting. And then you have Georgia State taking on Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt also 3-0 on the season. Southeast Louisiana taking on LSU. And then Sam Houston is a favorite, a touchdown favorite over Texas. Just kidding. Is this where we start to see Manning turn it up? Man, Texas, after that game that they played, they haven't played anybody. I don't know who's on the hot seat right now. I guess Billy Napier. It seemed like he was on the hot seat last year, and then he won games. Mike Gundy, man, they took it on the chin against Oregon, right? Oregon scored what, like in the mid-60s against them or whatever? Explore Horizons is asking about Missouri. The game against Missouri is in Columbia, Missouri. So that is an away game. Your away games that are coming up are you go on the road to Georgia, you go on the road to Missouri, you go on the road to South Carolina, and you go on the road to Auburn at the back end of the season. So those are the away games. That's why I was like posing the question, like what Joel Klatt said, is like, are the struggles behind Alabama? I don't know. You got to be able to see, you know, how this team performs on the road. Can this team run the football? How are these guys that come back from injury? How are they faring? Yeah, still a lot to go over it. They've improved, but there's still a lot of questions. I mean, let me ask you before I dip out, what would you say, like, your concerns are about this team in terms of, you know, maybe a position, a player? What are your concerns about this team? Like, or question marks that you have? Mine would be offensive tackles. 100%. Can this team run the football? I don't know. That would be a question for like a high-level analyst. Can this team run the football? Offensive tackles, pass rush, I still think is suspect. Can you stop a running quarterback? Right? How does Ty do with a team that can get after him? Because the last game, I mean, I know it's all kind of glitz and glamour, but he was, what was he, 3 of 14 under pressure against Florida State? You got to think Georgia's coming after him 100%. And that's the thing, is you know how quarterback sacks translate into momentum. They come after Ty Simpson. They get to Ty Simpson. They create a turnover or something like that. That stadium will go crazy. Ryan Harris still says special teams. Tavis, my bad, Tavis says, can we cover on an island? Yeah, Xavier Brown getting beat. Dejon Lee getting beat, right? Will Ty fold under pressure on the road? 100%. That's a valid question, huh? How are you going to handle adversity? 100%. Road games. Yeah. These are all great. I think I'll make a graphic and put like remaining concerns. Army 3275. Fresh off beating cancer says this. Stopping a dual threat quarterback. Jay Rankins, what's up, man? Good to see you inside the comment box. Saying trenches. Yep. Ruben says maintaining a high level of play with the whole team. Yeah, I like that. Rory McIlroy says running over 200 yards against Georgia. Timothy, this is an interesting question regarding Cam Calhoun. You know, Cam Calhoun, I think, has played less than 20 snaps. Now, he is the transfer that came over from Utah. We were thinking about him at that Husky position or maybe at corner, but it seems like he's right now on that 2 deep, so he really hasn't played. I think he might be even behind Drake Kirkpatrick. So that's where Cam Calhoun is. He recovered that fumble, right, against Florida State on special teams, but I haven't seen too much. I'm a little bit surprised, but that just tells you, you know, the confidence they have in some of the other players, I guess. Tavis. All right, cool. Tavis. All right. I was like, thank you, Tavis. What's up? And you know, dude, you got to get it right because you know how this show operates. I'll call your name out on the screen. So, yeah, Tavis. Yeah, I've had corrections, bro. It's all good. I throw incompletions, but I try the next time to throw a completed pass, right? All right, fam. Well, I appreciate you kicking with me today, right here on Thursday, September 18th. You know, news as it happens right here on Bama Football on YouTube. Definitely follow our Facebook channel as well. I'm always posting content over there. It's kind of like my website, I guess you could call it. So I'll post it inside the comment box for right now so you guys can check it out. That's another way to interact with me. This is my personal email. If you want to hit me up with questions or tips or, you know, other ideas that you might have, hit me up. Mr. Kyle Henderson on Instagram. If you want to hit me up, you know, follow me, my life. It's mostly like my kids or my cooking. I love cooking. Can I show you something that I made? 2 things I made real quick, if you guys will give me just a second. I love cooking. And I don't know why. You know, I started cooking probably like, I mean, it's nothing complicated. It's just like I started cooking a little bit ago and I kind of fell in love with cooking. Do we have any cooks up in here? Just airdrop myself. 1 second. I'll show you guys in 2 seconds. If you guys need to dip out, the show's like, there'll be no more, you're not going to miss out on stuff. I just wanted to show real quick. Let's see. It's coming up in 2 seconds. Yeah, I don't know. I just started cooking and kind of fell in love with the process, you know? So that's what I do like on the evening times. You're like, what is Kyle doing? I'm really probably thinking about going live or cooking. Here it comes on the screen in 2 seconds. All right, so up here, I did some meatballs. So basically, I mean, I like to do like meatball subs. So what I did was it's nothing complicated, but the cheese, yeah, I put like some quality cheese on them, like some really good cheddar on top of them. That's kind of like a secret sauce that I do. And the meatballs are bomb, and then I do them on a brioche bun. So I heat the buns up. You know, brioche buns go hard. And then just, you know, some regular sauce, nothing complicated. And then over here, this is what I did last night. And for this particular one on the right is, I love the grill, so I'm always on the grill. So I marinated these in Italian dressing with some s'mores, and then just threw it on the grill. And yeah, so you can find me up on the grill. All right, Kevin, I've been a corporate professional chef. Oh, okay. All right, does this look okay then, Kevin? Is this approved? Anybody gonna invite me to the barbecue? Right? All right. Okay, fam. Stay blessed. Be where your feet are at. I appreciate you. Again, prayers up. And, you know, God is good. Kevin, I just got past cancer, so a lot to be thankful for, right? That's bigger than really anything when you zoom out of it. So thank you so much. Have a great rest of your day. News as it happens. I'm going to kick content out the rest of the day. You know how we do right here on Bama Football on YouTube. Coming to you from beautiful Tuscaloosa, Alabama on this fine Thursday, September 18th. Kyle Henderson, Bama Football on YouTube. See you, fam. Go eat some lunch.